Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ruby Girl Talk Show tonight. And I am Kay, your favorite Ruby Girl and your favorite host for the Ruby Girl Talk. But wait a minute, I'm the only host. So maybe that's why I'm your favorite. So welcome once again. I have amazing guests. Like always, all my guests are amazing. And I think some of them are more amazing. I think every time I get a guest, it's more amazing, more amazing. But tonight, I have Miss Kisma here all the way from Antigua Island, y'all. While we're over here in Michigan freezing, probably we just happy to get 60 something degrees this week. She's getting them nice and wonderful temperatures. So hi, Miss Kisma, how are you?
Hi, Karen. Good evening. I am well. As you said, our weather is fine. We normally have 80-degree weather all year round. So I am doing great and I'm so happy to be with you this evening.
I'm so happy that you can be here. So I know when you was here in Michigan, how did it feel?
Well, interestingly, it was not as cold as I thought it would be, and that was a good thing. So I preempted that I was going to be freezing, but I came prepared. I got my jacket, I got my boots, and I was prepared for the weather. So it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
That is great. That is great because I can imagine going from 80-degree weather, never seeing snow, and then all of a sudden Michigan, because Michigan is totally different. And it was mild. I admit in February it was mild when you came. You know, it showed out after you left, but it was mild during that time, and I was grateful for it. So, Miss Kisman, what I want you to do, I want you to go on my page, find this video, and then share it on your page. And while you do that, I'm just going to talk to everybody about what Ruby Girl is about. So, hey, everybody. This is Kay, once again, your favorite Ruby Girl. And Ruby Girl comes from Proverbs 31 and 10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above the price of a ruby. So, by now, you should know that by heart, it should be ingrained in your heart that that makes you rare, virtuous, and valuable. And those are three attributes or three characteristics that we definitely want to have when it comes to walking with the Lord Jesus Christ, because the world looks to us as an example. And if we are Ruby girls, we are shining for the Lord, we're letting our light be really bright, and we're attracting other women that desire to walk like we walk in Christ. So they want to walk in our footprint. So that's why the brand Ruby Girl is so impactful, so life changing, so mind resetting, because it's a brand birth directly from the throne of Jesus Christ. I didn't think of it. God downloaded it into me. And so if you want to be part of the brand and rock the Ruby Girl shirt, go to rubygirl.net, get you a t-shirt, and boom, now you're representing being a Ruby Girl. Because why? You're already a Ruby Girl. So, all right, go to rubygirl.net, and every Thursday is Ruby Girl Day. Yes, that's the day that we as women, we totally shine. We take selfies in our Ruby Girl shirts, we post them, and we use that hashtag Ruby Girl Day, and we tag your favorite Ruby Girl, Karen Dodd, in that picture. And so some days, some Thursdays, I'm looking to bless somebody, trying to find the most jazziest, sassy Ruby Girl, the most virtuous Ruby Girl. I be looking y'all at y'all posts. So on Ruby Girl Day, you can always get 15% off the website. But for March only, every single day you can get 15% off, and you got clothes on that website that you can check out. So all right, ladies, thank you, that's my commercial. And so now, Miss Kisma, now that you went on my page, found this video, shared it with your amazing audience, it's time for you to introduce yourself. And I must say, Miss Kisma is a unique person to know. Number one, not only she's a person of faith, she put the works with that faith. And it was something that she held on to for a very long time. So, Miss Kisma, introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in with us. So my name is Kisma Panthier Pierre, and as Kiran said, I'm from the islands. I was born on the beautiful island of Dominica, which we call the Nature Island because we have 365 rivers. But now I live on the beautiful island of Antigua, where we have 365 beaches, where you can come and bask in the sunshine, 80 degrees weather throughout the year. So who am I? I am an educator. I am an author. I'm a speaker. I'm a coach. And I'm just excited to be given the opportunity here this evening to share with you a little bit about me, my story. And I'm hoping that it's going to touch you in a special way. It's going to enlighten you. It's going to encourage you. And so thank you so much for having me, Karen, on your show. I really do appreciate the opportunity this evening.
You are very welcome. Thank you for being a guest on my show. I really appreciate everybody that comes on my platform because it gives me an opportunity to share your story with the world because you are amazing and people need to connect with people that are amazing. And people are looking for somebody to connect with that's going somewhere, been somewhere, and still have plans to get somewhere. So thank you. That was amazing introduction. It was short, sweet, to the point. So Miss Kisma, once again, thank you so much. And so in case my audience doesn't know, Miss Kisma is, as she said, an educator, but she's also an author and she's a motivational speaker. And she rocked the stage with me on the Shawn Fair Leadership Tour. She was amazing. Yes, wasn't that an amazing experience? Totally amazing. And
It
so
was. It
I need
was.
to know, I'm going to be nosy. How did you get selected for the tour?
Well, interestingly, my speaking started with the Toastmasters International. I'm a Toastmaster. And so this is where just a few months ago, in the month of May, I believe it was, I started my speaking journey by joining the Toastmasters. Soon after then, I was in a Facebook group with Dr. Cheryl Wood, and she did announce that she's having the speaker con, and so I signed up to be part of that, which we'll talk more about later. And then after having appeared on that show, I got a message in my inbox from Shawn Fair himself inviting me to audition for the Leadership Experience Tour. And so I attended the audition, and I am very grateful that I got selected and chosen to be a part of the show, which was an amazing experience with meeting you and all of the other excellent participants. It was just a real huge family gathering. And I have been speaking about the experience because it's not often that you meet people for the first time, but you just gel so nicely with everybody. Everybody was just like one big happy family. It was amazing. Like we knew each other, and that really, it resonated with me, and it stuck with me that having come from the islands and meeting people from just all over the world, really, because there were persons from Canada, there were persons from England, all of you from the different states in America, and we all just gelled together. So that's my story, that I was invited to audition and I was selected. So I'm so grateful for that experience.
You know, it's funny how you say it's people from all over. And when
Mhm.
they meet, they just become family. Because it
Mm.
was my second time on the tour, so the first time I was on the tour, it was like that for me. So I was like, maybe it was just our group, but it happened again. So I think it's just something about the Shine Fair leadership, and it means experience for real tour that just gels people from all over. We see each other on Zoom, so we're familiar with each other, but in person, people don't always gel. But it's something about we're just like family, and I think because Shine creates an atmosphere of win and not competition. And that could be the difference. So yes, I'm so glad that I met you. You really rocked that stage. And like I said before, you are a best-selling author, and you was talking about Cheryl Wood's platform. So for those that don't know who Dr. Cheryl Wood is, Dr. Cheryl Wood is someone who is closely connected to Les Brown. They talk, she said, almost every day. They wrote a book together. So they have a friendship, a real close friendship. And she is a motivational speaker. She spoke during our tour. So we got to grace the stage. We weren't just virtual with her, but we actually walked in the place and stood where she stood at. And that was an awesome experience. And Dr. Cheryl Wood, she has a school for speakers. She does speaker SpeakerCon. She does a lot, and she always give you tips and things to make you a better speaker. And the girl does not play. She is totally awesome and amazing and talented. And so that's where it all started for you. So tell us how you even just got to that point of being connected to Dr. Sherwood.
Yes. So as I said, I'm in a Facebook group with her, and well, I was invited by someone. I'm not even sure who invited me to join the group, but whoever it was, I say thank you to you, because from since then, my life has just catapulted into an awesome, awesome chapter and becoming an entire book within itself. So I was invited into the group, and it's interesting because Dr. Cheryl Wood posted a video. She made a post about having been on a live call with Les Brown, the legendary Les Brown. And I remember commenting underneath that post that my dream one day is to meet Les Brown. And she responded something to the effect that just keep dreaming, because dreams are possible. And it was probably a week and a half or 2 weeks later, she extended the invitation to be a part of SpeakerCon in conjunction with the book anthology with the legendary Les Brown. And so when I saw that, I said, my God, this is confirmation, because I just said a few weeks ago, a week and a half probably ago, how I would love to meet this man. And here is an opportunity, even if it was virtual, because we were in the heart of the pandemic, and everything was going to be virtual, but I got the opportunity to be in a book with him, and I jumped at it. I attended the interest call, and then I decided, you know what, I've got to do this. And so there we go. The combination was to be on SpeakerCon and to be a part of the book project. And so this is how I got involved with it. And I must say, you are right. Dr. Cheryl Wood, she is one of the most generous women I have ever met. She is so giving. She is so authentic. She's so open to just help you to navigate that journey, your speaker journey, and to help you to figure things out. And she is just not holding back anything. And it's amazing how giving she is, how the quality of the coaching that she offers to you. Within those few short months that I worked with her, I was energized. I was challenged enough to even start my own speaking platform. And so that's to show you the extent to which that she just gives you all of the cushioning that you need. But then, as she said, she normally will get ready to kick you off the nest when she thinks you're ready. And so I just really appreciated the experience, and I'm grateful. I'm so grateful and humbled by all of it.
It sounds amazing, because it sounds like you just entered the speakers arena in May.
Mhm.
So everybody that's out there watching, hey, my viewers, hey, how you doing? Make sure you sharing, because sharing is what? Is caring. Make sure you're sending us hearts to show us some love too. So while you're listening to this, I want you to think about yourself. Think about how Kisma started last year in May, and look how far she is. She just took a step, and because of the things that she desired. Oh, I want to grace the stage with Les Brown. I want to connect with him one day. Things like that started happening for her, but she had to take steps. And that first step, was it scary for you?
It was very scary. Because let me tell you, Kiran, all of this, you have to make an investment in yourself. And if you want to go where you've never been, you have to be willing to do what you've never done. And so the entire speaking journey, you have to make investments. And that was one of the biggest investments I've ever made, because I'm in the Caribbean. So $1 for you equates almost $3 for me. So I want you to take that into perspective, right? And so it was a huge investment, but it was one of the best investments I have ever made, because you know what it did for me? It showed me a different side of me. It really challenged me to dig deep and to realize, you are an author, you are a speaker, you are a leader. And so it really helped to remove that layer and to show me a different Kisma, that true essence of me that I have been shying away from, because I jumped head first, I took that leap. It just opened me to a new world. And we'll talk about all of that as we proceed, of all the other things that came out of that. So I'm so grateful.
I know the other things, but you making me excited. Like, okay, let's speed up this interview. Let's just get down to the rest of the questions. But you know what? You are encouraging somebody out there that's trying to figure out, how do I take that next step? How do I go to that next stage of my life? And like the first step is one, to invest in yourself. No, that's two. Number one is to trust that God can do it. Number two is to invest in yourself. And when you said that, I can totally relate, because I was not a person that invested in myself. Just like we don't do self-care, we think it's, you know, something bad if we do self-care, we being selfish. Sometimes we think investing in ourselves, like paying for classes, paying for coaching, paying things like that, and we're like, I don't need that, I got that, me and God got this. But we got to understand, God is about community. It's not always just you and him, because think about Adam. It was at one time him and God, just, but then God says it's not good for man to be alone. So like I said, God is about community, not just, is, yes, you have your relationship with him, but God wants to use people around you also. And I had to learn that, Miss Kisma. I had to learn that. So thank you. Yes, everything that you said about Sherwood is so true. So for those out there that are thinking about speaking, going to the next realm, you can speak, you can preach, you have your talk show, you've been desiring to get on a national stage. Take that first step, or no matter what your dream is, no matter what your vision, tonight, say, I am going to take that first step. Put it in the comments. I am going to take that first step towards my dream. So now you put it out in the atmosphere. It's out there. You done wrote part of your vision. We're going to make you accountable for it. And so, like I said, put in the comments, I am ready to take that first step towards my dream, your vision, whatever it is, you're ready. So, Miss Kisma, it's time. It's time for the 60-second pitch. So, this is the time when I take a break and I check out what they're saying on Facebook about us. But during the 60 seconds, you're going to blow our minds with this pitch that you got coming, girl. You're going to make us buy anything that you even mentioned. You're just going to be that awesome. Awesome. So, go ahead, Miss Kisma. And while you do that, I'll check the comments.
So I don't want this to be a typical pitch, but I want this to be a form of encouragement for you. First things first, I want you to know that you've got everything in you that it takes for you to be the awesome human being that God created you to be. However, sometimes we can only take ourselves as far as we are right now. And we often are not aware of what we don't know, of what we can't do. But if we would just surround ourselves with the right people who are able to get us to that next level, people who have done what it is that we would like to do, that they are able to guide us, they are able to show us those blind spots, they are able to help us to navigate whatever difficulties that's holding us back, that these people are able to take us to the next level. And this is what I had to do to take myself to the next level, get myself around persons who could help me to get there. Sometimes you can't do it alone. And so you need somebody to just show you what it is that you're not seeing. There are many of you right now who are in a job and you're stuck and you don't like it. You hate that job that you're in, possibly. You want a change, you want financial freedom, but you don't know how to get it. I'm that coach who's going to help you to get to that next level. I'm the coach who resigned from my job last year in the middle of the pandemic to follow my dream. And so if there's a dream that's on your heart and you would like to pursue that dream, which we're going to talk about a little bit more, so you understand that I am very much aware of what I'm going to ask you to do, I would like you to go ahead, and Karen is going to put that link soon in the chat that you can get that free book. It says 5 reasons why you can't quit the job, you can't leave the job that you hate, and how to fix it fast. I know what that feels like when you're feeling stuck. And so I'm here to help you to get to that next level where you can follow your dreams.
Oh, wow. Thank you. You really got my attention. I I mean, some of the things you said is for me too. I know y'all be like, hey, everything always be for you. So what? It's my show, y'all. Quit hating. No, no, I love y'all. I love y'all. So this is what I need y'all to do before I release this free book free book. We love free. I want you to go to her website. If you look up in the posting comments, give us your website again, Miss Kisma.
So the website is www.m, M as in monkey, J as in Jupiter, N as in Neptune, P as in potato, academy.com. If you go onto that website, there are 4 portals. You're going to click on the Academy one, the one that you see this picture at the back of me, which you're going to talk a little bit more about. And when you go onto that website, you will see more about the Academy, which we're going to talk about now. It will ask you to make a donation to that. If you do make a donation to that, if you share the link with your friends, if you do any of that, and you can post that in the group that you have done it, in the chat that you've done it, Karen is then going to release that free copy of that book that is going to help you to identify those reasons why you can't leave that job that you hate and how you can fix it fast.
Ooh, I love it. Fix it fast. Fix it fast. She's going to make me end this interview right now so I can fix it fast. So let me tell you what they're saying about us. Hi, Katrina. Katrina rocked the stage with me in June. When I tell you Katrina was an awesome experience, I mean, an awesome speaker, and her story was just so powerful. She talked about Dr. Cheryl Wood. She said she is absolutely awesome. And she said we have to start speaking things into existence. And she said, trust that God can do it, number one. Number two, invest in yourself. So she's in total agreement with us that you should invest in yourself. So, hey, Marietta, I see you out there. Hey, Blair Cherie, I see you out there too. So thank you, everybody that's watching. Keep commenting, And like I said, go to her website. You can look up and see it in the posting section of this video and click on that link. Go there, and then also tell me what's the name of that academy that you see, the first academy that should pop up that you see. So Kisma, I'm excited about this second part of the show because sometimes to me, I like the personal part more so than the business part. I'm just more of a personal person. And so we just want to go back a little bit into your childhood when you was 10 years old. And at 10, you had a blueprint for your life. Tell us about it.
Well, you see, when you come from humble beginnings like I came, and a lot of persons do have similar background like mine, but I think I may have been a little bit so unhappy with it that I created this plan. I created this blueprint, as I call it, for the next 20 years of my life. And so when I was 10 years old, it got me thinking about how I wanted the next 20 years of my life to look. And it was one beautiful sunshiny day, typical day in the Caribbean, Kiran, and I was in grade 7 at the time in the common entrance class of primary school. And I remember walking out of the classroom door, and there was a beautiful flamboyant tree outside of our classroom in full bloom. That, it was just crimson red at the top, just really beautiful day. And I remember looking up at that tree and thinking about my life and just asking myself, what do I want the rest of my life to look like? And I think with my 10-year-old brain, I could only go 20 more years. So to think as far as 30. But I decided that at the common entrance exam, which was coming up a few months ahead, I needed to get what we call the bursary or the scholarship that would allow me to get that assistance from the government to then go on to secondary school, because I'm the first of 8 children, and sometimes things were very rough at home. And so I understood that if I did not get that help, it would be an additional stress in terms of getting to school every day. I lived in the countryside. To get to the school was about half an hour drive. So we needed a special bus to take us to and fro. And so I understood at 10 years old how difficult things were. And so I decided what grade I wanted in the common entrance exam that would allow me to get that scholarship. I continued to think about secondary school and what grade I wanted to get at secondary school. And I decided I needed to get 1s and 2s only, because these grades would allow me again to get assistance from the government, and that I could only spend 5 years at school because my mother wasn't able to spend any money to have me in school for an extra year. So I decided boys were a no-no at that time. And then I thought to myself, okay, I need to get on to college. And so when I do get to college, I spend the 2 years and I'm going to need to get a job. By that age, I would have been 18 years old. And so I needed to make sure that I got a job by that time, because then I needed to help my mother to look after my siblings. That's how I processed everything in my 10-year-old mind. And so I decided also that by 25, I wanted to get married, and that by 30, I needed to have my house. And by 35, I needed to have 2 kids. Well, thankfully, everything, Karen, the Lord has been so good that He blessed me with all of those things, just as I've explained to you, except the children part. That part has been on a hold since still.
It's coming.
No, we have not been trying yet. We've put that on a hold, right? But I literally created that entire vision at 10 years old. And when I thought about it recently, just thinking in retrospect, because I had forgotten about that all through my teenage years. But then when I hit 30, I looked back and I thought to myself, but hey, you really did accomplish all of those things just as you had asked God to help you to accomplish. And I am just so grateful that everything came to pass just as the Lord had, purposed, I suppose, in my heart. Because at 10 years old, who thinks about those things, And so I just want to challenge anybody who is watching right now, who is listening, speak those things that you really want, because I always believe the scripture verse that says life and death lies in the power of the tongue. Speak it, and it will come to pass. And so this was the blueprint for until I was 30 years old. And then when I hit the 30-year-old mark, I got to a standstill, because guess what? I had not planned past that. So you wouldn't believe, Karen, that when I was 32, I was like, just spinning in a wheel, and I was stuck, literally stuck. And one night I had to just jump out of my bed and just go downstairs into the classroom, and I created this vision board for the next couple of years. And that is when things started rolling again. And so really and truly, when you have a dream, don't think that it's too big. Don't think that your circumstances have to hinder you from really setting some goals for yourself, because if you think it through, if you write it down, if you believe, trust me, I am living proof that they do come true.
So far, this is what I've got, and I want y'all to put it in the chat. Number one, you got to invest in yourself. Number two, you got to have a blueprint or a plan for your life, because that's your roadmap to your success. Otherwise, you're going to stop here. You're going to stop here. You have no destination of where your life should be ending at. And for some of us, we just live day to day, and it shouldn't be like that. You should have goals in front of you that you want to achieve, because when you have something that you see in front of you, you're going to walk towards it. And that could be why most of us are stuck. Number one, we don't have a blueprint for our next. And like you said, you jumped out of the bed. Like, I need to plan the rest of my life. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever, because you're writing the vision. You're making it plain. It's your own life vision board. We do vision boards every year for this year, but why not do a vision for your life? Put that vision life board out there. Where I'm going to be. You was 10 years old. Who thinks that far ahead? 17-year-olds don't think that far ahead these days about what they don't even know what they're going to do next year. And here you are, 10 years old, and you're thinking about your next. And it's all based upon the circumstances that you're enduring right now. As you told me, the circumstances, beautiful family life, but you just financially, y'all struggle. And you was like, this is not going to be a part of my life. And you were smart enough at that age to know, in order for me to get better, I got to do better. You was like, I got to make these scores. I got to do this. I got to do that. That was nobody but God dropping that in you at a young age. So my viewers, I want you to think about, what did God drop in you when you was a little girl, when you was a young man, when you was about 10 or 12 or maybe even 5? God dropped something in you. God revealed something to you. You just forgotten along the way. So I want you to go back and I want you to think really hard. What was it that fascinated you? What was it that excited you? What was it that you dreamed about? Because I think, Miss Kisma, as we get older, we don't dream as much as we do as kids. Kids say everything. I'm gonna be a dog when I grow up. They believe they can do any and everything. What happened to us that we stopped believing like that? But you're here tonight to show us to start believing again. So also around that age, you had a vision of building a school. What finally made you take that first step of faith towards making that vision manifest?
Right. So I'm glad that you asked this question because as I would have mentioned to everyone that I am an educator, but apart from just being a teacher and having wanted to be that, I wanted to do more than just teach. I wanted to have my own school one day. And even as a child, not having breakfast sometimes, not having shoes, having to borrow the neighbor's shoes, not having snack to go to school. Even in that state, I had that huge dream that one day I wanted to have my own school. And in this photo that everybody can see behind me is the school that is being built. We actually started work yesterday, and so yes, the workmen have been rounded up to start the work. But how did it all begin? I had the dream, yes, but then if you only have a dream, it's not going to happen. You have to do a little bit more than just dream. And so in the heart of the pandemic last year, I decided, after watching how the COVID pandemic was affecting our children, and there was not, although I tried my utmost, I put them online and I was helping them as much as I could online, but there were still so many kids who were being affected severely. And even the professionals will tell you that the children are among the most affected, and they will be impacted for the rest of their lives, those children who went through these 2 years of this hardship. And when I watched the kids who would normally come to my after class, because that's one of the things I had not mentioned, that for the past 12 years I have been doing this after school programs downstairs my house. And so I have kids who come to me every afternoon where I help them with their homework, help them with study habits, prepare for their exams, etc. And during that time, there was some kids who started to fall by the wayside because their parents could no longer afford to send them. And even though during that time, I would not have been forceful, like normally when the kids come and they are unable to continue to pay, I allow the parents to let them come, because having come from where I came from, I understand what it is to be in a rough spot, sometimes to have a rough patch. And so I would always encourage the parents to allow the children to come. But there are some parents who it got so bad that they had no end in sight as to when they may be able to pay again. They decided that they were no longer going to send the children. And so that started to really break my heart, Karen, when I would pass the kids on the road. And we had such a good relationship because my house is their house. When they're hungry, they go upstairs, they get something to eat. You know, we're just one little happy family down here. And so when the reality hit me that these children are going to be suffering so much because they no longer come to the after class, I decided I need to take the bull by the horn and I need to do what I must in order to get this school, which will be a more organized structure where we can have the bursaries for the kids who are unable to come, and their parents will no longer feel, that they are, in other words, getting a handout, right? They will be more receptive if we can have a proper structure in place. And so I went ahead and I approached persons in my circle who I thought would be in a position to assist me in helping me to follow that dream. And thankfully, again, God placed this gentleman who is now my benefactor, who decided to invest in my dream, 1 million US dollars.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. And you just had to ask.
And Steve Harvey always says that you have not because you ask not. And a lot of times we have dreams and we're trying to do them, either we try to do them on our own or we forget about the dreams because we realize that we may not be able to do it on our own. And I will tell you that much. At one point, I started to say I no longer wanted to have my own school anymore because I am a teacher. The salary isn't huge. And I started to lose that hope because coming up with that kind of money seemed impossible. And as you get older, you start to forget the dream. And because you're now focusing on what seems to be real in front of you, but forgetting that, if you just believe and have faith as little as a mustard seed, as God says, that you can move mountains, right? And so I had started to lose the dream, but then the pandemic really made it real for me. And I realized if I did not do something to help the children who I had already started to help, and all those who would need more help, because it's the struggle for these kids is real, right? And so I approached the gentleman, and then he has made that commitment. However, we have started the build. We bought the property. So this, what you're seeing behind me, is where the school is going to be built. That's what the structure is going to look like. But after having done all of the assessments, we're still $500,000 short. And so we're still trying to raise that additional funds to make sure that we can complete the project by the date that we would like, which is next year, 2023, September 2023, when we can open the doors for the kids to come and really get the K-6 program that we're going to have. So it's going to be a primary school where we have kindergarten through to grade 6. But not just that, in the afternoons, we're also going to have, just as I have been offering, the extra homework help program with other supplementary subjects that they need help with. So the math and the IT, whatever subjects it is that they need help with, we'll have classes in those areas, as well as for the adults. Adults can also come and continue their education. So those who dropped out of school for whatever reasons, but they would love to continue their education, then we'll be offering those classes, as well as professionals. We want to help our professionals to become more emotionally intelligent, for example. So that's one of the programs we'll be offering. Back to management basics, because you and I, we've been employees and we know what it is we would like from our employers. And so our managers also need to become more aware as to how to really relate to their employees to get the most out of them, so that employees, those who are in the workforce,
I know you're out. I know. I
those
got
who
it.
are, those who are still in the workforce can feel that they are appreciated, that they have a voice, that they're heard. And even myself, as I become now a manager, I have to be very, very au fait with what it is, that I don't forget that when I was an employee, those things that I wanted from my employer. So we want to make sure that we are keeping these things close to the minds of those who are in leadership positions, so that it can trickle down through to our children. Because you see, what we do at the helm follows through, and that really affects our children. And so essentially, this is here my dream that you're seeing in the back. I am so excited. It's an interesting journey ahead. It's a challenging journey ahead. It's exciting, but it's also a little bit scary. But they say if it is not scary, it's not big enough, right?
Oh, yes. Give us where we can donate again. I want you to put that so we can have it in the video.
Okay, so that's www.mjnpacademy.com/coming soon. We'll take you directly to that page. So that's
Okay. Okay.
www.mjnpacademy.com/coming soon.
All
And thank
righty. And so, did y'all hear her? She's $250,000 short. So I know somebody out there can write that check right now. If that's how they do. I know someone out there. Pick up that pen, open that checkbook, and write that check right now. But no, seriously, We want to support our vision. If you can give $10, $5, 100,000, whatever you can give to help her out, get her closer to the goal, please do so. She gave the website, is also in the post and comment. So we do dearly want to support your cause. But what I'm hearing too, I meant to ask you, so school is not free in the islands? Like we have public school that's free.
Yes, so we do have public schools, yes. We have the public school. I'm a product of the public school system. However, we have many private schools as well. But this school here is going to be a private school, but we are going to make sure that we have bursaries available to the children who are unable to afford it. And so we want to make sure that we cater to the have-nots. I'm a have-not. I'm a product of having received assistance from the government going through school, but we want to elevate the structure of education. We want to make sure that the education that we provide at this institution is relevant to today. We don't want to be teaching our kids what the same curriculum that's been there since before the pandemic and way before the 20th century, because we're not progressing if that's the case. And so, for example, one of the core areas that we're going to make sure that we offer at our school, and I'm not saying the name because you had asked persons to go and find out the name, so I'm trying not to say the name.
Let me see.
Have you seen it?
Anybody go out there? Did any of y'all go out there and find the name of her academy? Okay, I don't see it so far. I know somebody did. I know somebody's out there that's obedient. But I like the fact that you're saying you're making the curriculum relevant, because when we were in school, we were taught life skills. I learned how to cook. They taught us how to sew. They gave us some skills. We had also trade skills that they taught us. So we had more tools to work with than a lot of the kids. A lot of kids, they just know IT. They just know electronic things. And like you said, you'll give them a bursary, which for us, we call a scholarship, in case somebody just came in and didn't know. So I'm glad that you're currently building your school, and we know it's not easy, but tell us right quick, we have a few minutes, about the peas and rice diet.
So for anyone out there who is struggling, who is having a hard time making ends meet, that at the end of your month, there is usually more month at the end of your money, as they say, I want you to know that it is possible, because I've been there, I've done it, and I can tell you that it's possible. So what Karen is asking me about is in 2011, and we don't have enough time for me to tell you the entire backstory, but I suffered a blood clot in 2011. And according to the doctors, it should have killed me, because the symptoms started since the Tuesday of that week. And I did not get to the doctor until the Friday. And why? Again, because I was a teacher at the time. It was the end of the first term exams, just before Christmas break. And we were having examinations coming up. And I wanted to make sure that my exams were in order, that my kids were prepared, and they had received all of the prep that they needed. And so I lingered taking myself to the doctor, because I knew something was wrong, and I was afraid that he would have asked me to go on sick leave. And so I made sure that I stayed to prepare my students and to get them ready until that Friday, when I walked up to the class, and I was teaching French at the time. And I normally will walk to the class and say, bonjour, mes élèves. And I'm so excited. But that morning, I walked into the classroom, and when I tried to say bonjour, I had to take a breath. And I realized that something was terribly wrong. And so I just picked up my books. I walked back out of the classroom very slowly, because I just knew I was not feeling myself. And when I walked to the office, the principal looked at me, and as soon as I opened the door, he said, you go to see a doctor right now, because everybody knew me. I walked fast, I talked fast, I behaved. I was this boisterous person, and he could just see that I was not myself. And so upon going to the doctor, he wrote me, when he examined me, he simply just wrote a note and told me to take that to the emergency room at the hospital. When I got there and I gave them the letter, the nurses got frantic, and everybody was just scrambling and telling me why I need to get into a bed. And the long and short of the story, I did not leave the hospital until 11 days later. But during that 11 days, I needed to get a test done because the machine at the hospital was broken and I needed to go to a private hospital to get the test done. And Karan, and to all those of you watching and listening, although I was a full-time employee and my husband too was working full-time, we did not have the finances that we needed in order for us to do that test. And this is where the turnaround came for me. And we eventually got the help to do it. But I remember while listening to Les Brown and Jim Rohn to help me because I was on a month's bed rest. I couldn't go anywhere. I had to stay to recuperate and was on all the blood thinners and all of that good stuff. And I thank God that I really made it through. But I made a promise to God, looking up to heaven. I said, God, if you help me to survive this, because, by the way, Dr. Google had told me that in 5 years' time, the blood clot would come back and it would kill me. So be careful what you watch. Be very careful when you have
Mm.
when you have any symptoms. Going to Dr. Google can make you so paranoid. Okay, I thank God now that it is what 11 years later, and I am
Oh.
fine. To give God thanks. But during that time, I promised God, God, if you take me through this, if you carry me through this and you make me survive this will never happen again. Because I couldn't understand how we were not living a lavish lifestyle. However, to do a test, we didn't have that money. And so I decided that this is never going to happen to us again. And so, Karen, we went on what I call the peas and rice diet. But the funny thing is, I don't like rice and I hate peas.
That's understandable. But I like how you said it was an eye opening for you. It's like there is moments in your life that God will allow things to happen, connections to happen that will just open you up to your next or help you say, hey, enough of this. And so I'm glad that you got on that peas and rice diet because that helped you with your finances and you was in a better place. I mean, can you imagine being sick and you can't get a test that you need to save your life? And so we all been there in some kind of way where we needed something, but we didn't have the finances to get it. But sometimes you got to go on that peas and rice diet. So, all right, Miss Kisman, I thank you so much. We're getting ready to close out. So let me see. Did anybody? I can't really tell from the chat, so I'm just gonna give them credit, and I'm gonna put that link out there so you can go get her book. And in your 2 minute closeout, I'm giving you two. Well, I'll make it 2 minutes. I'll let you close out. Go ahead and close out. Make sure you put your contact information and go right ahead, Miss Kisma.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity, Karen. It was a real pleasure being with you and your guests this evening. As you heard, I have come from humble beginnings, but with a huge dream. And my biggest dream so far is coming to fruition, where I'll be able to create legacy, build a legacy that will outlive me, that will outlive my benefactor, that will outlive anyone who comes on board with us and donates to this. This will outlive us and it will show that the children of this school that if we could create this, that their dreams as well can and will come true. This school is going to be a statement that tells any child that sits within the four walls that my dream is possible. And so I invite anybody who cares about children, cares about education, and you are able to, please make a donation. 5, 10, 20, 100, 1,000, $500,000, whatever it is that you're able to give, whatever it is, we welcome it because it's going to help our children to get a better education. If you are stuck in a job that you are not happy about and you are trying to figure out your next way out, the next step that you should take, I invite you to go ahead and make sure you download this free book. It is going to help you to get some clarity as to what are some of the things that you have not done, that you're not doing, so that you can get that help. And there is a free coaching session that comes with it once you download the book. And so I'm looking forward to speaking and connecting with some of you and all those of you who need that coaching. And of course, my name is Kisma Panthier Jean-Pierre. I am your speaker, I'm your coach, your motivational speaker, your author, and I'm here to help you. So you can connect with me on social media. You can go ahead onto my website, www.mjnpacademy.com. This opens you up to the 4 different areas that I am affiliated with. And so I just look forward to connecting with you. And thank you so much, Kiran, for the opportunity. And I look forward to just continuing to serve you and to serve everyone who I am able to.
Thank you, Miss Kisma. Thank you so much. So everybody that's out there, I put the link out there in the chat so you can go download that free book. And she said also a bonus, you can get a coaching session with her. I mean, look, you need to take advantage of these coaching sessions that people offer, those 15 minutes free session. You might need the 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there and there to get your life together. So don't pass up anything. That is my motto. Don't pass up anything that's free. So tonight, as we talk with Miss Kisma, she taught us some things about having faith. Number one, to invest in yourself. And so it's okay to spend money to enrich your knowledge, to connect with people that are where you're at, because guess what? You're going to walk right behind them. It's just like if you go in the woods, do you want to go on the path that's nobody ever walked and you don't know what's there, snakes or whatever? Or do you want to go on the path that where everybody has been walking? Usually you choose that well-worn path. So that's how it is with success. Success leaves clues, and also faith leaves clues. People that have walked in faith will just tell you the clues to getting where you need to go. You have to invest in yourself. Number two, you have to write a blueprint for your life. You have to write the vision. You got to make it plain. And that's what Kisma did. Even as a young age, God downloaded those plans into her. And she was smart enough and knew how serious this was. In order to change her life, she had to do something different than her family had did. She understood, I don't have to stay here. I can change my life depending on the things, the works that I do. And so she began to get good grades. She began to do this and she began to do that. And that's what you got to do. You got to begin to step it up. You got to begin to do the things that maybe you were afraid to do. Let me tell you, anything connected to your vision and your purpose in life, fear comes with it. That's why if you look in the Bible, the angels was always saying, do not fear. Fear not, before they would give them their assignment. Fear not, because they knew it wasn't the fear of seeing an angel. It was the fear of having to do what the angels was about to tell them, or having to go through what the angels was about to tell them. But we don't walk in fear anymore because Miss Kisma, best-selling author and motivational speaker and coach, has taught us tonight to move forward in faith. Take that first step. Take that leap of faith. Or you've been sitting there like, I need the resources. You know people. She said she went to her circle. You know people that you are connected to that can help you get to your next. You simply have to ask. Don't let pride be in the way. For me, don't let pride, I don't want to ask nobody to help me do nothing. Guess what? To get to the level, the next level, somebody's going to have to help you do something. So, all right, Ms. Kisman, we thank you for bringing those golden nuggets to us. You taught us tonight that if we take a leap of faith, where we land at, it could be right exactly in our destiny. And our destiny, your plan, and your vision is not for you, it's for children. So please take a moment, donate, get some pennies together, go to that website, donate. You think it's small, but it's not small because it helps whittle away that $500,000. That $1 brings it down to 499,999. I'm not the math teacher. I'm not the teacher. Miss Kisma is. So, Miss Kisma, thank you again for being on the show. And I'm gonna look one more time to see what everybody commented. I can't see it on my phone. Okay, Ty Jackson wanted to know the link to donate again. If you could just tell her once again where the link is in the posting section, but tell her once again, and what the link is.
So that's www.mjnpacademy.com. I'm actually going to put it as my name, mjnpacademy.com. And that's / coming soon. So that's www.mjnpacademy.com /coming soon.
Okay.
So right here on the screen right now.
Thank you. Y'all see it? Take a screenshot of it. She put it in there for you. So go donate. I'm gonna make sure I donate. If not tonight, girl, because I got so much. I'm definitely gonna sow seeds into you because it's a vision. We all been that child that lacks something. And I understand about being poor and not having what you need. And like one thing that stood out for me when you said you had to borrow your neighbor's shoes just to go to
Yes.
school. That's dedication. That's no matter what it takes, I'm going to get it done. So we thank you, Miss Kisma, from all the way from Antigua, 80-degree weather, 365 beaches. So you can go to a beach each and every day of your life, not even the same beach in 1 year. So, all right, thank you. And thank you, everybody that put something in the comments, that went out to our website. I put the link to the free book, download that book. Also connect with Miss Kisma. You just don't know. Remember her story? It was little strategic things that got her connected to what she had been desiring. And this might be the connection you need to get you to where you need to go. So thank you so much. We do appreciate you and we will support your cause. So everybody have a great, wonderful night. I will be back next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. with another amazing and awesome guest. So make sure you tune in next week to see your favorite Ruby girl and her favorite guest. So thank you once again, everybody. Have a great and wonderful night. Bye-bye.
Bye.